So the name of this episode is called The Illusion of Beauty. But first, real quickly, we're going to recap the last episode. So in the last episode, Ralph Roberts, and I'm covering his book Mimosa, Memories of Marilyn and the Making of the Misfits, an outstanding book, and it's also written by Chris Jacobs, IT specialist, and his nephew, Hap Roberts, that he was really close to. Again, it's called Mimosa. So in the last episode, Ralph went up to Marilyn Monroe's bungalow in Los Angeles. And he went from November, where he gave her her first massage, then they went to December of 1959. And that's where we're covering it now. And he went over there and she couldn't make the appointment. It was the first time during this period that she missed it, and it turned out she was at George Cukor's house, and she was meeting with him and Rock Hudson to see if he would do the leading role in Let's Make Love. And by the way, George Cukor was the director in that film, and then after The Misfits, he directed the last film that Marilyn Monroe ever did, which was called Something's Gotta Give, with Dean Martin. And the interesting connection there is that Dean Martin, while Ralph Roberts was in Los Angeles, was in the movie Bells Are Ringing with Ralph Roberts. So there's a lot of connections here. And also Judy Holliday starred in that film, and more than likely Roberts got a role in that movie because he knew Judy Holliday in New York, because she played the leading actress in Bells Are Ringing on Broadway. And I'm also guessing, they didn't state, but Roberts probably had a small role in Bells Are Ringing on Broadway as well. The other thing that we covered last episode is that Roberts discovered that Marilyn's marriage was on the rocks with Arthur Miller. He was talking with Paula Strasberg out in Palm Springs, and she mentioned that the role that Arthur Miller gave Marilyn in The Misfits, the role of Rosalind, pretty much saved their marriage for a while. He also discovered from Paula Strasberg, and she was Marilyn's drama coach. She was Lee Strasberg's wife, that she had a dark side, and that eventually he would find out about it, that he only saw this persona, the light side, and eventually he would see that. And then the last thing is that Marilyn asked him how he liked Palm Springs, and he said, "Oh, I love the desert." And Marilyn said, "I also love the desert. It's like a solitary solitude." So this dark side and solitary solitude will come up in future episodes that I will do. That's why I'm bringing it up. So this episode is about the illusion of beauty. So the last time that Roberts gave Marilyn a massage was right after the weekend that he went to Palm Springs, and this is December of 1959, with Paula Strasberg. The next evening, Monday evening, these were the things that they talked about. He also talked about how Marilyn said they were not able to get Rock Hudson, and that Yves Montand would probably be the lead, and eventually was the lead actor in Let's Make Love. And that Monday night is when they talked about the desert and solitary solitude. Fast forward 3 days later, Thursday night, and this is what they were talking about. Marilyn said that on the set, so they're doing preliminary work on Let's Make Love. And on the set, she said that she bumped into her stand-in, and she was her stand-in for many years. Her name was Evelyn Moriarty. And she was also the stand-in for Marilyn on The Misfits. And apparently back then they had stand-ins for major leading actors and actresses. I would assume they still have them today. Like, for instance, in The Misfits, when they were driving into the ranch, they didn't have Marilyn like drive in. They had, Evelyn Moriarty drive in. So we're talking about long shots or shots from behind, possibly the paddleball scene when the guy pats her on the rear end. And I don't think he actually touched the actress, whether it was Moriarty or Monroe. It looked like he didn't even touch her. But either way, I think that was Evelyn Moriarty. So Marilyn Monroe said, wow, so I saw her and she is just so beautiful. And by the way, I've seen pictures of her, and everyone ages differently. In some of these pictures, she literally looked like Marilyn Monroe's mother. But that's besides the point. She was a very, very attractive actress when she was younger. So George Cukor mentioned that to Marilyn. When Evelyn first got here to Hollywood, she was radiantly beautiful, but she was just too nice and sweet. And what George Cukor was alluding to Marilyn was that, Hollywood just chews up a lot of actors and actresses. Everyone's not cut out to be a leading actor or actress because the media will attack you. The Hollywood studios and the chief executives will try to grind you down on your contracts. Marilyn went through all that, and I believe that possibly contributed to her death eventually, that all these pressures from Hollywood. She would often talk to Roberts about how disgruntled she was with the studios and how she was getting the short end of the stick. And she did renegotiate her contract in the mid-50s with Fox, 20th Century Fox. So, but that was a constant thing. But she was saying that, Evelyn has this classical beauty, but she was just too sweet to make it in as a leading actress. So she discussed how beautiful Evelyn Moriarty was, and then so this stream of consciousness that she had, during this massage session, Ralph Roberts would say it's a stream of consciousness. And she then discussed how the year before she was invited to go out to the Miss America pageant. And she says she was very nervous and unsure of herself because she was with all these fresh young faces, these beautiful young girls. And by this time she would have been like around 32, 33 years old. And she said all the girls would ignore her. No one would talk to her. And she said, quote unquote, that it was almost like a writ from above, like the organizers of Miss America didn't want the girls to associate with her. And I don't know why exactly. I'm guessing because she was a sex symbol. There was a lot of rumors surrounding her throughout her career. And then the nude photographs she did for the calendar and for Playboy. So they, and Miss America, especially back in the 50s, they wanted this wholesome image for the Miss America winner and the pageant. And it turns out, for this pageant, she met a lady by the name of Yolande Betbeze. That's Betbeze. I hope I pronounced that right. Yolande Betbeze. And she said that she was very, very nice to Marilyn, and treated her with a lot of respect and made her feel at ease and went out of her way to make Marilyn feel good on the set of the Miss America pageant. And so she was very appreciative, and she said she was very beautiful in a classical way. I'm not sure what she means by that with Evelyn Moriarty and Yolande Betbise, but I'm guessing, more in a traditional way, because not this, bleached blonde, white bleached blonde hair and all the makeup that Marilyn would wear. So I'm guessing more of a conservative look. And she said she was dark, and I'm guessing she's saying about that she was a brunette. But the bottom line is that she wins the pageant, and then they're doing a parade. And then they're in an open-air Rambler. And Marilyn was saying, I was waving to the crowd, and we were just having a great time, but apparently it was pretty warm, so she would get like sweat on her upper lip. So she said that she would wave like this, and then when she waved with the other arm, she'd wipe her lip off, and then wave over here and wipe her upper lip off. And she said that her and Yolande would just totally laugh like crazy after they finished the parade. So she says to Ralph Roberts, I'm sorry that our conversation tonight is all about beauty, But, when I was a kid, I remember when I saw a really pretty girl, I said, wow, that girl has it made, But throughout my career, I found out that it was different, and that being beautiful was just part of it. And she said that, Ralph, I am not beautiful, but I can give the illusion. Okay? I am not beautiful, but I can give the illusion. And the interesting thing about that is almost everyone that met Marilyn Monroe, especially the photographers, so Cartier-Bresson and other photographers throughout her career, she had the best, those at Magnum. And they said that when they met her in person, she wasn't as beautiful as they thought she would be. But when they take the pictures, and then you take the photographic paper and you put it in the chemicals, and you're in the dark room, you have a red light, and then you just slowly see the image appear. And I can imagine these photographers, they see Marilyn Monroe, yeah, she's okay. Then she puts her makeup on, and then they think, well, for this incredible icon, movie icon and model, she doesn't seem that beautiful in person. But then when that photograph starts to develop, they go, oh my gosh, this woman has this magic where she has this illusion of beauty. So that's the end of this episode, and I thank you for watching. My name is Ray Capote for the Misfits Mystique. Have a great evening.